This is going to be a sunflower pattern for an oak display. Shown here, I've built this 2-panel oak display case. The diagram here is showing 2 panels, but I only need to trace one. I'm going to be using Logic Trace 2018, and I'm going to select Tracing Polylines. Each portion I trace out becomes a closed vector. This is a good spot to show the edit command. I traced that one portion wrong, so I'm going to use the edit command, toggle over to that spot, delete it, and retrace it. Very simple. I mentioned earlier that I printed out 2 diagrams of the sunflower, just so I could see how I could orientate the 2 sunflowers together. I only have to trace one because the other side is going to be a mirror image. I always mention that when I'm tracing many parts on a diagram, I use the color pencil to keep track of what parts have been traced. Also, that colored pencil shows me where I started to trace the diagram, so I end up not having a crossed vector. The better you do your tracing, the less work in the end for editing. I'll be using this finished file to run it through the CO2 laser. That's where I'll be cutting these 2 panels from. I always mention it's easy to trace out and digitize a large diagram. No matter how complex the diagram is, it's still easy to trace out. And again, don't forget there's an edit command. If you make a mistake, just go back to that spot, toggle over to it, delete it, and retrace it. Now that I've finished all the tracing, I'm going to save my work, create a file, and I'm going to run that DXF file through Vectric Aspire 10.5 and check the vector quality. Also, I'm going to take that sunflower file and I'm going to create a mirror image so I'll have the right hand side. So now I'm going to have 2 panels to laser cut. I also like to run my files through the simulator just to see how it's going to look. I'm cutting these sunflower panels using a 150-watt laser. I'm using a hardboard, and then when I'm finished cutting these, I'll spray them black. Shown here, I'm actually cutting out the panel. Very smooth cutting. These are the raw panels cut out. Here I've got the panels sprayed black and I've got them placed into the oak display. So it's a 2-panel oak display.